come to find out, while the Air Force jollies were kind of circling, they were watching the whole thing go on, and they said, "Yeah, I mean, you guys are getting lit up with RPGs and the
Oh,
ZSU and small arms, and you know, I mean, I can't remember the total amount of flight hours the two squadrons had in Iraq, but so to come out of there without a single bullet hole in the aircraft and no lives lost in the squadron, I mean, I don't know what you want to call that, divine intervention or what, but
Welcome to the Calm and the Chaos podcast, where we discuss untold heroic experiences and dive into the mindset of the Navy's elite rescue swimmers. Hosted by former U.S. Navy Aviation rescue swimmer, Mount Everest solo summiteer, and best-selling author Brian Dickinson.
hey everyone, it's Brian Dickinson. If you're enjoying these stories, please take a second to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. It helps more people find these conversations, and it keeps the mission alive. And if you want early access to new episodes and to support what we're building, consider becoming a Spotify paid subscriber. Your support means everything. Now let's jump in so others may live. All right, Logan Warner, it's a pleasure to have you on. 24 years of service, retired in 2019 as a chief. I'm just excited to have a conversation.
yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. How's the weather in just outside
Yeah,
of Fort Worth?
yeah, it's a little warm today, mid 90s, but
Oh, wow.
nothing we're not used to.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, yeah, I just had a DevGru friend up where he was visiting, and I'm like, man, we're having a heat wave out here, and he lives in Austin,
Oh yeah,
and he and his wife were laughing.
yeah, right,
Like it was in the 80s and stuff. It's big for Seattle.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, this is our winter.
right.
Cool. For those that
Yeah.
don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so grew up small town, Western New York, just outside of Rochester. Very, ride your bicycles first thing in the morning during the summer and then come home when the street lights come on,
Yeah.
kind of town, raised by obviously the parents and everybody else's parents
Hmm.
too.
Yeah. It's a
So it
good
was a good
life.
experience. A lot of sports, baseball growing up. After that, I was I'd say a mediocre high school student. Wasn't wasn't dean's list material or principal's list material, but solid B student
Hmm.
growing up. And
That's good.
yeah, from there, went to college. Thought that that was the normal route for people.
Where'd you go?
I went to my first year. I went to Ashland University. It was in Ohio,
Hmm.
um, just south of Columbus.
Okay.
Studied sports medicine and physical therapy.
Nice. Is that
Didn't
what you
do so
wanted to
hot
do?
there.
Did you want to be like for a big team or something?
Yeah, I think I wanted to be a PT. I want to be still involved with sports somehow.
Hmm.
Knowing that, obviously I was not baseball, college D1 material, thinking I was a skinny little 150 pound kid, I wasn't
Yeah.
going anywhere, but trying to stay in the sports and thought that was it. First year didn't go so hot, being away from, no structure
Hmm.
kind of thing, just figuring it out by yourself. So then I went to a small community college, my second year, by my where I grew up. So
Okay. So we went back to New York.
yeah, went back to New York for about a year and a half, and my she'll probably give me hell for it, but my mom had actually called the Navy recruiter.
I can edit anything you don't want, but that sounds like something we're going to keep.
But yeah, she had called the Navy recruiters. She said, "Yeah, I need some structure in my life." So
Yeah. Nice.
I did the solid and went and talked to him, and it was obviously a couple of years after Top Gun was out, so
Okay.
that kind of generation.
Yeah. So like early 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
So
then you decided to raise your hand and commit.
yeah, and raised that. I was in the delayed entry program for
Hmm.
about 6 months, so that was pretty nice. Had a summer off, and
Yeah.
um, did some fun stuff during the summer, knowing that I was going in the Navy before. So
Did you have like a job that you were going in for?
yeah, so signed up for be an avionics technician because I thought I wanted to be on the flight deck of a carrier shooting jets off, and
Yeah.
thought that
Yeah.
was it, you know.
That looked cool, man, on Top Gun. Those guys
Sure.
looks legit, right? They're
Right.
dancing
Yeah.
around and
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have the internet like kids do these days, so I had no idea about anything
yep,
really.
just
I
had the
just,
Blue Jackets manual.
yeah, right. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I told the recruiter and what I wanted, and he was like, "Well, this is what you need to do," and yeah.
Cool.
But lo and behold, he signed me up for it was a guaranteed ATA school, but it was as a TAR at the time.
Hmm.
Um, had no idea of that, obviously. So yeah, reported to boot camp in December 27th of 1995.
Okay.
So it's pretty cold. Great mistakes, and
Was that the only one open at that time? Had they already closed
I think
Orlando?
so. They had just closed down Orlando, maybe a
Okay.
year or two before that. But
Yeah, because I went through in 93 and
yeah,
I was probably towards the end of it.
yeah. So
So yeah, so that sucked. So then you're camping indoors and
yeah, right. Wearing 18 layers of clothing just to go to the chow hall. Yeah, that
hmm
was fun. But yeah, I didn't really have any issues in boot camp. And had, had a couple of guys in my division that were going buds, kind of tweaked their ear a little bit, just trying to figure out what other jobs were out there. Because still at that point, still had no idea. No computers or anything. Had an
hmm
encyclopedia. That's about it. So
Yeah, and word of mouth, which is like the
right,
scariest thing, right?
right. So um, but yeah, didn't go anywhere from that. Checked into ATA school down in Memphis, Millington.
Hmm.
Um, after graduation, no real problems with that class. I can't remember how long it was. I think it was about eight. I want to say 8 weeks long, maybe a little longer.
So at AT, I don't know anything about AT school.
Yeah,
Like, are you learning for a specific platform?
no,
It's pretty
it's all
generalized.
general aviation electronics, like
Okay.
troubleshooting. How to read a diode, multimeter stuff. Just kind of real basic
Hmm.
aviation. Um,
Okay. That's probably
but
interesting though.
yeah, it was a lot of math. So I never knew I was really good at math. I didn't wasn't really good at math in high school, which was crazy. But I
Hmm.
think that's where in A school I really just able to do math in my head really fast
Oh,
nowadays. I don't
well,
know why, but
yeah. Had no idea you were a genius.
yeah, right. Yeah, I wish. Yeah. Um, yeah. So after graduation, I kind of sat around and my whole class got their orders and left. I was still waiting around, waiting for orders, didn't know what was happening. Next class comes through, they leave, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? So one of my class, I think he was a second or third class that was teaching the class. He's like, hey, what do your orders say on there? I go, what do you mean? He goes, does it say tar on there? I don't know. The tar, what's a tar? I don't know.
The heck's a
So I go
tar?
find my orders, and lo and behold, yeah, it says tar. So I guess one system had me as tar, and another system had me as regnav, and they were battling out, trying to figure out what I was. So
Hmm.
yeah, got orders. Finally, after we figured that out, got orders to a P3 squadron out of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, VP
Oh, wow.
64. Started there as an AT, did a year and a half, working corrosion control,
Oh, yeah.
V-dunk, standard,
Yeah.
first year in stuff.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah,
But
right.
at least you're not on a boat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's get to go home every night. Yeah.
Hmm. Hey, if you love high stakes action, military intrigue, and stories that keep you turning pages late into the night, you won't want to miss my new thriller, Bloodline of Redemption. From a rogue Russian submarine on a covert nuclear mission to the unforgiving peaks of the world's deadliest mountains, it's a nonstop ride of suspense and survival. Order your copy now on Amazon or wherever books are sold and dive into the mission. Oh, cool. So you survived a year and a half, then what?
Yep. So I put in my chit to go to aircrew school. My roommate at the time asked me if I wanted to go with him. I said, "Hell yeah, let's go. Let's try it." So we started working out every day and swimming and running and doing all the stuff to get prepared. And then,
Hmm.
um, yeah, the command approved it. And
So what made you want to go to aircrew? Did you see like the AWs and the P3s and
a little bit, yeah. So I got to, got to be around those guys a little bit, interact with them. Um, and then actually my maintenance senior chief at the time, John Schnabel, um, he was a prior HAL 5 guy.
oh well.
So he had said something to me about it, like, "Yeah, you're going to aircrew school. Think, look at these units."
Hmm.
So I did, because they were, the only two um, TAR squadrons out there, other than I think HSL at the time, but they were HSLs 60 maybe.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, long time ago. Can't remember a lot of that, but
I know.
anyway,
It's first thing to go.
yeah, right.
That, the hearing, the back, and the knees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
detailer
let's
said,
talk
"Well, I
about
got."
aircrew. How was
Yeah,
that?
it was good. It was good.
So this would have been like 97, maybe?
98. Yeah.
98.
So
Okay.
it was March of end of February, beginning of March of 98.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Um,
transitioning out about then.
yeah. So didn't have real issues with aircrew school. They, talking to the squadron before, they were like, "Hey, you just have orders just to go to aircrew school and then report to HCS 5 out in Point Gu." So there's no SAR school involved with that. And they said, if they ask you, if they see your pool competency is good, and they may ask you to go to SAR school, but we don't have a
Hmm.
billet for a swimmer. The billet that they have was for a dry guy. So
Okay.
um, yeah, so aircrew school, pretty easy. As a fleet returnee, it was kind of nice. I had share a room with one other guy that,
Hmm.
um, but had our own devices and could go out and
What's
about.
so was Millington still open at that time? Like had they moved everything?
Yeah, Millington was still open. That's where I went to
Okay.
A school. Yep.
Nice. Yeah,
Yep.
well now everything's in Pensacola, so
Right.
that
Right.
transition. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Pensacola was awesome because
Yeah.
you're basically treated like an officer, great, you know, dining facilities and rooms and
Right.
just everything was legit. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's like now, but man, that was
Yeah.
like
That was
I
great.
always say it. I'd stay at aircrew school my whole life if I could. Just so
Right.
fun.
Right.
Helo
Yeah. Right.
dunkers and land survival and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made it through that. How was
Yep.
I know back then, like you said, the internet was in its infancy, so you wouldn't even have had information anyways at this
Right.
point. But I remember even in I feel like if, for me it was boot camp, we saw like it was an air crew like totally dated video like on VHS, and it had the Helo Dunker in it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that seems kind of scary.
Right.
But then you do it and
Yeah.
you're confident and trained and
Yeah.
you either make it or you don't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The helo duck was fine. Again, like once I got in the water, I was always very comfortable in the water. Was always, even as a kid growing up,
Hmm.
swam all the time. Like felt like I was part fish, but maybe more duck. Um,
Yeah, that's important.
yeah. Right.
A lot of stuff going on underwater.
Yeah.
Was there a point where you wanted to go to SAR school?
Um, I think after I first checked into HCS 5, um, and I started flying, started doing the SAR jumps that looked fun.
Hmm.
Um, but then that kind of faded pretty quick when I realized that, you know, we do a lot of land deployments. We don't really go on boats that often.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, totally different
and
mission
it kind
set
of seems like just a lot to keep
for
up with
nothing.
for a very small amount of extra money. But um,
Yeah, yeah. And were you able to do jumps?
I did a couple, yeah,
Were
but
you
it
the
wasn't until
designated
late.
hoister?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep. I got real good at that, I think.
I bet.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's cool. So you're
yeah.
at HGS 5 at Point Magoo.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
I mean, I can't. That that probably soured my um, taste for the rest of the Navy because
Hmm.
that place was so awesome. Um,
That'll happen.
yeah, right. You know, when I first checked in, they had no idea I was coming, apparently. The aircrew chief had no idea what was coming. They thought I was an NCIS agent
Oh,
because
nice.
they had just gotten into a little bit of trouble.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, my first flight, it was the ops chief. This guy, he was AE2, Jeff Gillespie. Ernie McGinnis was a pilot, and at the time, Craig Miller, another pilot. And I remember to this day, they took me to McDonald's, gave me a bunch of greasy cheeseburgers and French fries, and then we went and strapped into the aircraft and went and did this mountain route. It's called the Ojai route, and it's a low level turf route through the mountains. A
Hmm.
lot of yanking and banking, and they
Yep.
thought they were going
Sass
to try and
off.
get me to puke to see what kind of
Yep.
person I was. Yeah.
Did you puke?
So no, man, I sat in the door with the biggest shit-eating smile on my face,
Yeah.
and I said, "Let's go do that again." And
Yep.
so ever
Yeah, give
since
me
after
another
that,
Happy
it
Meal.
was yeah, right,
Playing with the
yeah,
toy.
a real one, yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
how long were you there?
So about 4.5 years, a lot of deployments to Fallon, probably like 20 something. I won't call them deployments, detachments to Fallon.
Hmm.
It's a lot of land stuff. A half a dozen like carrier workup
Oh, yeah.
deployments for a couple weeks just to cover for the HS guys that
Mhm.
give them a break because they were pretty busy. So we would go
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
do SAR duty out there, and yeah, all right, 2 weeks out there, I'm fine with that, knowing that I'm not having to do 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
That's brutal.
yeah.
Did
So
you
we had to
have
move
any
down.
during this time at Magoo? Did you have any interesting SAR experiences?
I would, yeah. I mean, there was that Alaska Airlines flight
Yeah,
that crashed off the coast.
yeah, it was horrible.
So I wasn't the first one on scene. We were the second group of flyers to go out, just looking for whatever. I think we got the phone call at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night to
Hmm.
bring everybody into the squadron and go launch on that. So
And you guys were pretty much just recovery, right? You were searching for
yeah,
anything, and
at
then
that point, I think the first group that went out were hoping to find some survivors, but after they came back in, it was like, yeah, there's
yeah,
now it's just a debris field. Um,
yeah, that's horrible.
yeah, it's that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But
How were you able to recover from that? Because that's,
um,
you can't unsee that.
yeah, I mean, a lot of compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
I think that's a nature of our job.
Mhm.
Put that in a little box and put it away. And then push
Yeah,
forward.
until later.
Yep, yep. So other than that, no real big SAR experiences.
Were you, when you would do these detachments, your training, was it mainly like CSAR, overland SAR, or just,
Yeah, yeah, a lot of CSAR. Back before I want to say before the PJs really got big, because we were kind of like, all right, acting like we're gonna run out and go authenticate the survivor and run
Mhm.
out with our M4s and our guns and stuff like that. And so we trained pretty hard for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was mostly all that Fallon and some Nellis. That's like, yeah, that's all we would do is CSAR. And there was a lot of like soft stuff that we would do, regular insert extract stuff, some
Mhm.
close air support stuff out west in Nyland. But
All
yeah.
right. So where'd you go from there?
Um, so 4.5 years there. We actually had moved down to San Diego. Um, so October of 2001, so right after 9/11. Um, but we had actually ramped up, thought, as soon as 9/11
Yeah.
happened, we thought we were going,
Yeah.
we were going to get the first call. But that didn't happen because everything was Afghanistan, and H-60 wasn't a formidable aircraft for the high altitudes of Afghanistan. So, but we still trained. We actually were supposed to go on a boat for a couple of weeks or however long just to augment HS guys
Hmm.
um, out on the carrier. But that never ended up happening. So October of '01, I transferred east to HCS 4.
Okay.
So yeah, made the cross country trek. Still waiting on the call the whole time. Get to 4, 4 had actually done, they were like one of the first aircraft at the Pentagon at 9/11. So they had a couple of aircraft that were out flying that day, and they were one of the first to go out there. So it started getting, spun up, getting read in on a lot of stuff that was happening. Uh, yeah, and then I guess we'll fast forward to March of '03. Um, we got orders to go to the USS LaSalle out in the Mediterranean because they thought Saddam was going to run from Iraq through Syria out through the Med. So took 4 aircraft out to the Med on the 2 aircraft to LaSalle on the LaSalle and a couple aircraft um, to Cyprus, kind of standing on alert. We had a couple of SEAL platoons on board, Marine fast team, special boat team on board. So we're pretty packed to the gill. Just again, training, waiting, practice, fast roping onto the boats,
Hmm.
a lot of recovery stuff, just waiting for the call. But
That's
call
like the
never
fun
came.
time though. It's like you're waiting and you wanna get out there and do your thing,
Yeah,
but you don't realize like once you're doing your thing, it's gonna be kind of repeatable. And right now you're like training for everything,
right,
and it's a safer environment. Bullets aren't flying, so
right,
it's funny. I was just on Marcus Luttrell's podcast a month ago, and we were just talking about that kind of that my time I was in like 93, 99, just kind of wedged in between. And it's a weird mindset that you get into wanting something that's different, not realizing like how great you actually have it at that time.
right. Yeah. So after nothing happened, we had to go on to another. It was the Nashville. So we cross decked over to the Nashville. Did another like week or so on that thing, and then they decided that all right, we don't need you here anymore. So kind of packed up all our stuff and flew to Sigonella, and that's where we're gonna catch our C5 ride back home. Um, During that time, HCS 5 had been deployed to Kuwait um, in Ali Al Salim. So they had made the call that they wanted an air crew to come help supplement out there. So me had just left HCS 5. I knew all the pilots, all the crew, all the maintenance guys.
Hmm.
So that was, I guess, a no-brainer. Even though I was still fairly young. I mean, I probably had, I mean, I would say between 500 and 700 hours, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
But yeah, we sent a couple crewmen, a couple pilots, and we went over to Kuwait from Sigonella to augment. Uh, they were making basically logistic runs, moving people up into Iraq and back. And we had found this hardened aircraft structure up in at Biop Airport. So I volunteered to go up there to kind of it was kind of like sit and make sure nobody tries to come and take the spot because we knew we were going to move from Kuwait up to Baghdad, and we are just kind of claiming our property. So
Hmm.
so we'd have like 4 people up there just kind of hanging out in the shelter and with very little resources. Like we didn't have generators or clean water or anything like that. We just made do
Wow.
with what we had. Found a
What time
couple
of year was this?
vehicles. So this was it had been early May of
Okay,
'03.
so still
Yeah,
manageable.
yeah, yep. So I mean, we would sit at night out in the Has and watch the bullets fly out of downtown Baghdad, and knew at some point that was gonna be us flying around.
Hmm.
So it was kind of nice because I got to actually like witness what was happening during the day, during the night, and see what was going on to kind of get me mentally prepared for what we were going into.
Was
Um,
that instilling fear or excitement or
I
nothing?
think more excitement and a little bit more of I won't say fear, but it was a thought of man. I mean, things
Sure.
are real now. Like
Yeah, for sure.
actual bullets are flying now. Like you
Yeah.
can't simulate that stuff in training. You can't, you know, um, yeah, but now bullets are flying. So it was a little bit of all right, little uneasiness, but not a lot of fear. Just a lot of
Okay.
like I want to get some stuff done here.
Yeah.
Um,
Want to show your support for Calming the Chaos and the stories of our nation's elite rescue swimmers? Check out our exclusive merch line shirts, hats, and stickers designed for those who live with courage and purpose. Military and first responders get 10% off each order. Just use the code SAR Rescue 10, SAR RESCUE, the number 10, SAR Rescue 10, at checkout. Grab yours today on Amazon or briandickinson.net/store and wear your sport proudly so others may live.
so yeah, finally moved the aircraft, four aircraft up from Kuwait up to Baghdad and started doing missions. A lot of it was at the beginning. It was a lot of like photo recce during the day. We take pictures, take the team guys out and take some pictures of the target building that they were going to hit either that night or the following night.
Hmm.
So a lot of daytime flying at first, which was kind of wild because you don't know if people are shooting at you, after seeing what you see at night. But
Yeah, hard to see tracers.
right, um,
Yeah, so man, that's yeah, because you don't do a lot of daytime flights. These were hotels.
yep.
Were they hardened or anything at that point? Like they have any protection?
I mean, we had protection, but it was just too heavy. So
So you
we
just
actually
leave it.
just put down like ballistic blankets in the cabin,
Yeah.
which really wouldn't have stopped anything. Maybe an RPG blast underneath the aircraft, it would have helped,
Hmm.
but bullet wise, it probably would have slowed it down, but it wouldn't have stopped it. But
Yeah.
we had a couple blankets that would we put down in the cabin, and we were just flying on either ammo cans or igloo coolers, man in the gun. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pretty wild time.
Yeah. That's crazy. So how many deployments did you end up doing in that area?
Um, so to Iraq, I did 9, um, from 3 to 2010. I think it was my last deployment was in 10.
Nice.
So
That's a lot.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's a lot.
it's funny when you and I first started kind of talking about doing this thing and started unpacking a lot of the missions and stuff that we had done and things that I haven't thought about in a while. And then just like couple of days ago it was just like a flood of stuff. Like all of a sudden, like I started remembering things, that I don't know, like not really necessarily packed away, but obviously must have put away for another time to think about. But
Yeah. How was that?
pretty,
Like, are you doing all right?
yeah, I mean, I obviously had some issues, but worked through that stuff. Took me a little bit, but worked through it, and I'm doing good. I mean, it's life is good. Um, Found the love of my life, so that
Yeah,
helped.
that
You
does
know,
help.
she helped me get straight, so it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't it's once that box opens, it is healthy at some point, but it is a process and
It is.
it's a necessary process.
Yeah.
So yeah, please, you got my number. Call
Yeah.
me anytime just to have a conversation. I'll do the same. I have
Yeah.
weird,
Absolutely.
weird days where it's just like, why do I feel so funky? And then you think, oh, like
Right.
my friend Kevin Houston was shot down
Yeah.
Station 17 this day, or whatever.
Yeah.
These things just kind of, I don't know, they just find their way, get a foothold.
They do.
Um, well, since now that you've unlocked that box and you have all these interesting stories, is there one in particular you want to share?
Uh, yeah. We'll probably just. I mean, the first, yeah, the first DA that the Navy Gila squadron had done since Vietnam in actual combat. I think that was sometime in June of '03. It was a pretty decent package. It was three of our aircraft. We had two Air Force Jollies that flew with us that stood off to do CSAR just in case. We had a C-130 gunship overhead. I think we had a couple F-16s. But yeah, taking a SEAL team in to go get some couple of bad guys off target. Two aircraft are going to land and insert a team, and then my aircraft was tasked with roping a couple of guys on top of the target building. So we had planned it, rehearsed it, briefed it, and did all the stuff you're supposed to do. And then doesn't Charlie show up and ruin it? So the first two aircraft that were supposed to land, they landed, but not in the right LZ. So they were like basically a house or so over, maybe a little farther than a house, but so they had landed and the team got out. Then they realized they were in the wrong LZ, had to get the team back in. There's probably a couple people that are still in zip ties at that house because
Right.
they
Sorry,
had
guys.
yeah. The team had already started making contact with who was in there, but got them back in the aircraft, and then we finally got them over into the right LZ. They land in the right LZ. We get over top of the target building. I deployed fast rope. I'm just looking around, and I think just out of pure adrenaline, one of the team guys that got out just knocked my nods off my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, at the time, I actually did have the rope around my neck, so the goggles didn't go falling onto the rooftop. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there was just enough light where I could still see without the nods. So,
Mhm.
so just counting the guys out the aircraft and cut the rope. And then we departed and kind of stood off a couple miles from the target while they were prosecuting the building. They had called for us to come back in because we had some OGA people on board to identify the person that they were going after. So we had come in and landed to drop them off so they'd go inside the house and ID them, make sure that was who they were.
Mhm.
And they had come back to the aircraft with the two HVTs that were they had found on target. And right about, I would say, probably 15 feet from the rotor arc, we had tracers go over our aircraft. So it got a little sporty. We were thinking like, all right, well, if we take off now, where those tracers went, or
Mhm.
exactly where we're supposed to go flying.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had in between, I think it ended up being like a ZSU 23 that somebody had pulled out. But we had the target building between us and that ZSU 23, so they couldn't shoot a straight line at us. So um, we get the OGA people on board and the two HVTs, and then we pulled pitch and got out of there pretty quick while the team was running through a mangrove and the other two aircraft landed to go pick them up. They were calling the C-130 in to do some preliminary fires right next to the house because there was intel that they had buried some RPGs and other weapons there. So AC-130 hit the side this um, little field next to the house with some, I think it was 40 Mike at the time. Um, so that got fun.
Yeah. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody got on board, everybody got out. Come to find out, while the Air Force jollies were kind of circling, they were watching the whole thing go on, and they said, "Yeah, I mean, you guys are getting lit up with RPGs and the
Oh.
ZSU and small arms, and you know, I mean, I can't remember the total amount of flight hours the two squadrons had in Iraq, but so to come out of there without a single bullet hole in the aircraft and no lives lost in the squadron, I mean, I don't know what you want to call that, divine intervention or what, but somebody was
Yeah,
looking out for us that whole time.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, you don't come unscathed from something like that.
yeah.
Where was there an Overwatch like infrared? Were they firing back or anything? Or
Yeah, so the AC-130 was our Overwatch platform at the time. So, yeah, they were firing back, but I think in a lot of the confusion, they didn't get cleared hot on that ZSU.
mm,
Um, they just kind of noted it once we kind of got out of there because I think at the time it started getting a little political. In that early June after the initial invasion, it started getting a little bit of let's not just shoot everything that we see. So
yeah. Well, and even how you described it, there was a little bit of chaos where you had to readjust. So you probably had feet on the ground, like you don't want to fire on the wrong
right, yeah, exactly.
individuals.
Yep,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
yeah,
That's, yeah, you come back from that, like even the flight back. So you have some high value targets, zip tied. Like are the SEALs maintaining them? Like what are you doing?
yeah. So funny enough, the guys that had fast roped off the aircraft didn't come back on the aircraft with us because as soon as those rounds started getting fired, excuse me, they weren't coming to our aircraft anymore. So it
Like
was
we're
just
not going there.
me and my second crewman and the two OGA people on board, just zip tied. So it was a lot of looking at them, making sure they weren't going to do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Was
Um,
there any of that, or you just pin them down or do you strap them down or?
yeah, we just kind of, we laid them down. I would say a little forcefully. Um,
Yeah, well,
just
it gets there's a lot of vibration in the
yeah,
helo.
exactly. Gets a little bumpy every once in a while. So yeah, I mean, they were making a lot of noise. Obviously, they didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just keeping an eye on them, making sure they weren't doing anything stupid. But they were zip tied; they weren't going anywhere. And it's funny. The OGA people were, I mean, they weren't operators at all. They were analysts, I would say.
Mhm.
Because they're just there to identify people. So,
Yeah.
but they kept an eye on them for us. So yeah,
Yeah. How many
minimum.
crewmen?
So it's just two. Yeah,
Okay.
me and Daryl Weiss on the left gun. I was on the right gun. I think it was Mike Steffen, who I'm actually flying out to Virginia tomorrow for his retirement.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
Admiral Steffen, yeah. So see him, and Scott Smart was a co-pilot, and it was awesome. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was a good way to start.
Yeah, it is. So you get back from that. How long was the flight back?
I would maybe an hour, maybe less than that. It wasn't
Yeah.
very far away from where we were at, so
Yeah. So you come
yeah,
back from that, like, are you pretty amped?
yeah, pretty amped. Park the aircraft. Do all the post flight stuff we're supposed to do, and then we had to drive over to the palace over there. What was 10-minute drive over to the palace from the airport to
Hmm.
do the debrief. Um, so that was yeah, debrief was interesting. That's where we found out that they were shooting RPGs and small arms on our exfil part of it. So
Did you ever get any footage of that?
um don't know as if anybody did. I don't think so. I know there's audio of the team guy, the JTAC that was calling in for the AC-130. I know there's audio floating out there, and I think I have a copy of it. And I'll search around for it, see if I can find it and shoot it
Yeah,
over to
no,
you.
that'd be amazing. I'm just thinking like even the video, the IR stuff, just
Right.
seeing how back to divine intervention, like
Yeah.
how close, they
Yeah.
came and how you were protected. It was almost like a
Yeah.
bubble. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God. Wow.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so that's your first stop.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to the jungle.
Yeah. First of about 1,000 hours over there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. So when you came back, like how long would you be deployed for?
So we kind of made it out to like, 4 to 5 months. We found to be the real good sweet spot.
Hmm.
Um, so we really didn't know how long it was going to last. Um, so yeah, 4 to 5 months with it because we knew we were just going to have to, as this is happening, we're just going to have to come back. We were a small squadron. We didn't have a lot of people. I mean, I think we
Yeah.
had like maybe 30 air crewmen, you know, and you got 4 aircraft and we'd have, I think we had 5 crews out at the time. So at any given time, you got 10 guys out there, 10 or
Hmm.
11 guys out there.
So was it kind of
So
like
you,
4 on, 4 off? Like would you
yeah,
come 4
basically.
months and then
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Yeah. And, even when we came home, it wasn't time off. It was, all right,
yeah.
detachments to Fallon, detachments to Nellis, doing all
Well,
the,
yeah, and you're integrating everything you've learned.
right.
You're doing these joint force,
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's a lot. That's a lot to for a career than to retire and then it all just ends.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like, I was kind of trying to be funny and think of a way I could relate it to boat stuff. And I guess it would be like, being in a Tomcat catching the 3 wire, man. It was, going fast and all of a sudden slowing down to nothing.
Yeah, that's tough. And
Yeah,
there's something there for those that can do it successfully. There's no one's going to do it just flawlessly.
right,
But I think there's something there. There's a mindset shift, and it's not, you can't do it and allow your guard to be let down because then
right,
that's dangerous in itself. But at the same time, you have to have that mental shift at some point. I don't care what you're doing. You don't have to be being shot at in a helo. It could be working behind a desk or whatever. It's your whole life you're putting into something. And so many people they struggle so much with retiring or that next season of
right.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't do a real good job of helping people transition from retirement to real life.
Mhm.
They try and give you the skills, but it's nothing the way it should be. I mean, I have no idea how it is now. It's been what, 6 years since I retired, 5, 6 years. I don't know how that transition program is anymore.
Yeah.
All I learned was like how to interview. Like, they didn't ask like or tell you like, hey, you gone from deploying all this time being around this, group of people that you really love and all of a sudden you're, snatched away from it. And so I think a lot of people find trying to find that again, like after military, and then
Yeah.
realizing like you're not ever going to get that. It doesn't matter. I don't think you'll ever get that again, no matter what
Yeah.
you do. Maybe law enforcement wise, but I'd still say I would say in the civilian world, it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, I jumped into high altitude mountaineering, which was the closest thing from like camaraderie and risk taking and just the physical and everything else unconsciously. It's just something that I enjoyed, not realizing like I'm just like jumping from one traumatic environment to the other.
Yeah, right,
And, once you reach a point and you realize a pattern, it's like, okay, anything in excess is unhealthy. So you need to
yeah,
dial it back and it's tough. I mean, look at football players who just will not retire. They just
right,
keep playing. It's like, dude,
right. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, the equivalent, I guess, military would be, pro sport. But
yeah, you
even
can be
then,
an announcer.
yeah, right, right,
You should be an announcer for CSAR.
yeah,
Overwatch. What
yeah.
I'm
I listened
curious
to that.
is with any job like in the military, you learn a lot, you want to use it, and then you get to a point where you almost go from this confident to cocky to then humbled. Was there a point after first, second, however many deployments or different mission sets where it's like you had to reel it in?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, kind of going back to where it all kind of sank in is when I made chief. I would say, I mean, I hate saying that because it's a lot of, I don't know, man. I think it was a lot of that's where I was very cocky um, as a first class. Um, Looking back on it now,
Yeah.
and I realize it a little bit, but um, I think when I made chief, that really kind of humbled me a little bit, and it taught me how to be a better teammate. As much as that, like we used to always despise the Chiefs mess, and
Hmm.
why are they telling me to go do this? They don't know what they're doing, kind of attitude. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah, I think yeah, making chief in 2011, that really turned it for me. And then
Hmm.
knowing that I was so at the time, so I was still out at in Norfolk at HCS 4 and then HSC 84. Um, I had orders to go to back to 85, well, back to 5. That
Hmm.
became HSC 85 to ramp up back into the spec ops world after they decommissioned them. So, and they weren't in combat or anything at the time, so I knew that I was there to train them.
Hmm.
There's only a handful of us guys left that were in that world that could train because the whole rate conversion that moved, you know,
Yeah.
car
AW.
guys to fixed wing and all that experience in the Hilo world, a lot of people left. So I stayed active duty, or went active duty, I guess I would say,
Hmm.
just to stay flying in Hilos. So yeah, I went back out to 85, and that's when I really took teaching guys.
So that almost seems like that would be a defining moment.
Yeah,
Mindset, personality was. Was there a like a flight or anything where I don't know. I don't want to go like too deep where it's going to trigger anything either though. So it's
yeah,
really up to whatever you want to
yeah,
share.
yeah. No, I don't know as if there was a flight. I mean, I think there was an evolution, right? So like when you first, I got to 85 to train these guys up and get them ready for whatever was going to happen.
Hmm.
But to see the evolution of your training and watching guys get it, like the light bulb coming on, and you
Hmm.
could physically sit there and see that bulb come on when they finally got it,
Yeah.
and being there and knowing that you were a part of that process. And now watching guys like succeed, um, not just professionally, but like in their military careers, and a lot of guys that are they're doing really really well, and I'm so proud of that. More
Yeah.
proud of that to see them do well
Yeah.
than
It's
all the
so
other stuff that
rewarding.
we did. Yeah,
Yep. That's the stuff that matters right there.
yeah,
Like
right.
it's not about us. It's about next gen, other
Yep,
people out there. That's huge. Yeah, I
yep.
know you personally have had such a part in just reshaping the program. And I know there was like, changes with the rate and everything else. Do you know like the current state where it's at?
I don't, man. Like I've probably been out of out of touch with all that stuff. I mean, I did
Mhm.
make like a trip out to Fallon, back to Switty school, pretty recently. Got a little tour, a little bit of update brief of
Mhm.
what's happening. But as far as the career AW path goes, I think they're doing better at giving AWs tools to be better on the outside. Like,
Mhm.
I don't remember ever getting, hey, go to EMT school, or here's
Mhm.
this path for you, or let me make being an air crewman, like it doesn't translate well in the civilian world. There's only a
Mhm.
handful of things that you can do being a helicopter crewman anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not dropping sonobuoys and
r-
sonar out in the real
right,
world.
right. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
not
maybe they
shooting
have
guns at
that, but
anybody either.
yep. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's interesting. Yeah, when I got out, 98, 99, no one even said goodbye. It was just kind of like, oh, you don't want to stay in? See ya. And
yeah,
I would just,
that sucks.
okay, I'm done. Got in
Yeah.
the high tech industry and
Okay.
went and did my own thing. And I think it's
Yeah.
pretty normal to when you're done
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
And then you start, realizing when you do connect with others and it's just like, you just pick up where you left off and stuff. It's really important, just that community side of it.
Yeah.
Like that's huge.
Yeah,
that's why I'm really enjoying like this podcast, just
yeah,
bringing you on and just, reconnecting with others and just sharing stories, these incredible experiences.
yeah. We definitely have a core group of friends that are still, from that community that we get to see each other a lot. So
Hmm.
that helps.
Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah, part of the trip this week is to do a memorial for a guy
Mhm.
that we lost a couple weeks ago. So
I'm sorry.
that sucks. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Is it-
John Keys, another AW, retired, passed away a couple weeks ago. The daughter. So a big group getting together. Two
Yeah.
reasons, to see Admiral Stefan uh,
Yeah.
retire, and then go to gather and memorialize JK.
Yeah. That'll be that'll be really nice.
Yeah,
It's a horrible reason, but
yeah, yeah,
it'll be very therapeutic and just to get
yeah,
together and tell stories and everything. It's,
yeah.
doesn't make it, nothing makes anything any easier. And it is sad, but it's the
Right.
reality.
It's tough when you say it out loud too. Like that's the hard part.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, I say it to myself all the time. Once you say it out loud, it hits differently
Yeah, it
for
does.
sure.
Yeah. It's say it out loud often, work
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
but it's a process and you can't hurry it. And there's always going to be triggers
yeah,
and it's just understanding those. But we get thrown off balance pretty easy and,
yeah.
you know, yeah, I know that'll be tough.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got plenty of stories, plenty of things to talk about, but the important ones are the people that you keep close, I think, and that make your circle complete. So
Yeah,
that's the end of the day. And you can talk
absolutely.
about all the missions, all the war stories. Another time, another place. Be more than open to talk some more about. So, I mean, we did some phenomenal things. People that we went after, the things that we did, the people we caught. Like, yeah, it just that community. We fought through a lot of stuff. Everybody wanting to shut us down while we were operating overseas, doing great things for the world, and um, having to kind of fight for your existence while you're fighting for survival is tough.
I know.
So,
Insane.
but yeah, we did some fun stuff. Yeah,
Just people just don't realize how much that just goes into it.
yeah,
So many different layers. Yeah. Well, you've definitely had incredible experiences like the most of the listeners, even the on the SAR community, can't, relate at the level that you've been through. If you've been HS, HSL, or, whatever they call them now.
yeah,
Everything's changed.
right,
But
yeah,
out on a ship doing that thing, lots of different mission sets, everything has their risks, but
yeah, yeah.
um
I mean, again, I think they're all doing their part. Everybody has their story to tell. I mean, our missions may have been cool and sexy and the things that people write books about, but at the end of the day, it was you and three other people in the aircraft that everybody wanted to come home, so we did the best we could to make sure that happened. Knock
yeah,
on wood. I mean, everybody made it home. So
yeah. Well, with that, what is a bit of wisdom that you've gleaned along the way that you'd want our listeners to have?
yeah. Um, One thing for maybe for the current community, if they're listening,
They are.
I would say if you're thinking it
They
in your
better
head
be.
while you're flying, say it. If there's
Yeah.
something that doesn't feel right and nobody's saying it, then it needs to be said because your voice, no matter how many hours you have in the aircraft, um, it might just save your flight. And then I would say to everybody else is, don't let the hard days win.
Yeah. That's
Just
great
keep
advice.
pushing through. Like, they're one foot in front of the other.
Yep. That's what I always say.
Yeah,
You got to figure out a reason to
Yep.
survive, to take one more step forward
Yeah.
and then another.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's no room for complacency or shyness or quiet in this job.
Yeah.
You see something, even if it's wrong,
Yeah.
at least everyone's aware of where your mind's at and what's
Right.
happening. Let them
Yeah.
determine it.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Well, Logan, thank you so much for spending time. I know there's a ton of stories. I know we'll continue talking.
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
you ever want to come back on and share some other experiences, like you're always welcome. Love to have
Yeah.
you on here.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, thank you. And for
Pleasure.
everyone else, we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Calm in the Chaos podcast. Please subscribe to be notified of future episodes. And if you enjoyed what you just heard, please leave a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. Until next time, get out there and make a difference so others may live.